Welcome to the longest running quiz show in the area. Categories. High school students compete to answer questions on topics from art to science, history to current events. And now, here's your categories host, John Bartell.
Hi, welcome to Categories. Today we're bringing you an excellent matchup between two Blue Valley schools as the Blue Valley Southwest Timberwolves take on the Blue Valley Northwest Huskies. A real dogfight we have tonight. Let's go ahead and meet our first of our contestants from Southwest.
Hi there, I'm Grant. I am a senior, and my favorite cartoon show is Pokemon.
Hi, I'm Jordan Scharnhorst. I'm a junior, and my favorite cartoon show is Adventure Time.
Hi, I'm Andy Divelbus, and I'm a junior, and my favorite cartoon show is Tom and Jerry.
Hi, I'm Wes Caldwell. I'm also a junior, and I'm also partial to Tom and Jerry.
Hi, I'm Madeline. I'm a junior, and my favorite cartoon show is Scooby-Doo.
And our competitors from Northwest.
Hello, I'm Andrew, and I'm a senior at Blue Valley Northwest.
I'm Dan. I'm a junior.
I'm Abik. I'm a junior.
I'm Avery. I'm a sophomore.
I'm Alec. I'm a junior.
Fantastic. And to match you guys, big fan of regular show. Yeah, it's nice. All right, here on Categories in the first round, we will take turns answering questions. If a team responds correctly, they earn a point. If they respond incorrectly, the other team will have a chance to steal the category. We did a coin toss before we started taping, and it was won by Northwest. So Huskies, here is the first question. The category is manners. In China and Japan and many Pacific nations, this act is correct following a meal as a sign of appreciation for the food. Andrew.
Burping.
Burping. Timberwolves, geography is your question. The only walled city in North America is located in Canada. Name this historic city. Grant.
Montreal.
Sorry, it is not Montreal. You know what? No, it is not Montreal. I apologize. Huskies, you have a chance to steal this geography question. The only walled city in North America is located in Canada. Name this historic city. Dan.
Quebec.
It is Quebec. Very good. Huskies, back to you with mathematics. The sine of what positive acute angle equals the cosine of 55 degrees? Abik?
35.
35. Timberwolves, sports is your category. The greatest pitching achievement in an All-Star game history occurred in 1934, when Carl Hubbell recorded 5 strikeouts consecutively against the American League's greatest hitters. Name any 2 of them. Jordan?
Babe Ruth. And Mickey Mantle.
I'm sorry, cannot accept that. Huskies, chance to steal this sports category. The greatest pitching achievement in All-Star game history occurred in 1934, when Carl Hubbell recorded 5 strikeouts consecutively against the American League's greatest hitters. Name any 2 of them. Andrew.
Hank Aaron and Babe Ruth.
Sorry, cannot accept that either. Babe Ruth is one of them, but Lou Gehrig, Jimmy Fox, Al Simmons, and Joe Cronin were the 5. Huskies, you do get the next question. It is current events. Swiss investigators found significant amounts of the poison polonium in the remains of a former Palestinian president. Dan.
Yasser Arafat.
Yasser Arafat is the answer we're looking for. Timberwolves, government is a question. Please be careful, or please pay particular attention to the order in which I'm reading these positions. Vice President, Speaker of the House, President Pro Tem, Secretary of State, Secretary of the Treasury, Secretary of Defense are the first 6 people on what list? Madeline.
To replace the president.
To replace the president. Very good. Huskies, music is your category. The modern orchestral one stands about 170 centimeters high and has the largest range of any orchestral instrument, more than 5.5 octaves, starting at C flat below the bass staff. What is this upright stringed instrument? Dan?
A harp.
It is the harp. Back to you, Timberwolves, with literature. What Phrygian slave of the 6th century BC told us short stories through animals who spoke and behaved like people? Grant.
Aesop.
Aesop, very good. Huskies, culinary delights is your category. The Senate restaurant, open only to senators and their guests, is famous for 2 items. One is their Senate bean soup. The other is the most American of American desserts. What is it? Dan?
Apple pie.
Apple pie. Aviation history for you, Timberwolves. He was the top-ranked ace of World War I with 80 Allied aircraft to his credit when he was killed in the action in 1918. Give the real name of the Red Baron. Huskies, chance to steal this aviation history question. He was the top-ranking ace of World War I with 80 Allied aircraft to his credit when he was killed in action in 1918. Give the... Dan.
Baron von Richthofen.
Von Richthofen is what we're looking for. Literature for you, Huskies. It starts off with a quote. All happy families resemble one another. Every unhappy family is unhappy in its own fashion. Which of Leo Tolstoy's novels opens with this sentence? Andrew?
War and Peace.
It is not War and Peace. Timberwolves, chance to steal this literature question. All happy families resemble one another. Every unhappy family is unhappy in its own fashion. Which of Leo Tolstoy's novels opens with this sentence? Grant?
Family.
It is not family. It's Anna Karenina. Karenina. It's hard for me to say. T-Wolves, we are going back to you with a geography question. What plant product was a Brazilian monopoly until seeds were smuggled out underneath potted ornamental plants in 1875? Huskies, chance to steal this geography question. What plant product was a Brazilian monopoly until seeds were smuggled out underneath potted ornamental plants in 1875? Abik?
Rubber.
Rubber. Huskies, movies is the category. In which movie that won the Best Picture Oscar do we hear the following line? War, war, war. This war talk's spoiling all the fun at every party this spring. I get so bored I could scream. Dan.
Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind. Southwest, next category for you is math. How much dirt is there in a hole 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot? Wes.
There is no dirt.
There is no dirt in a hole. That's very good. I'm glad you guys got that because I would have felt bad if you... All right, Huskies, you got the next question. It is chemistry. These symbols each stand for a chemical element important to the nutrition of the human body. Name these chemicals with the symbols Ca, Fe, I, and K. Avery.
Calcium, iron, iodine, potassium.
Those are the 4. Very good. Current events, back to you, Timberwolves. What country recently launched a spacecraft bound for Mars, hoping to become the first Asian nation to land there? Jordan.
China.
It is not China. Huskies, chance to steal. Abik?
India.
It is India. Back to you, Huskies, with another sports question. The Baseball Hall of Fame is in Cooperstown, New York, and the Pro Football Hall of Fame is in Canton, Ohio. In 1974, the Golf Hall of Fame was dedicated in Pinehurst. What state is Pinehurst located in? Avery?
Illinois.
It is not Illinois. Timberwolves, chance to steal this sports category. The Baseball Hall of Fame is in Cooperstown, New York, and the Pro Football Hall of Fame is in Canton, Ohio. In 1974, the Golf Hall of Fame was dedicated in Pinehurst. What state is Pinehurst located in? Grant?
California.
It is not California. It's North Carolina. North Carolina. Timberwolves, you do get the next category. It's the law. What's the term for a woman who is appointed to carry out the provisions in a person's will? Huskies, chance to steal this law question. What's the term for a woman who's appointed to carry out the provisions in a person's will? Dan?
Executor.
I'm sorry, cannot accept executor. It's executrix for a woman. Huskies, you do get the next category, however, and it is art. As is so often the case, the artist never received much recognition until after his death. A Frenchman, he spent most of his pleasant days during his first trip to Tahiti, where he painted primitive people in a primitive style. Name him. Dan.
Van Gogh.
It is not Van Gogh. Timberwolves, you have the chance to steal this art category. As so often the case, an artist never received much recognition until after his death. A Frenchman, he spent his most pleasant days during his first trip to Tahiti, where he painted primitive people in a primitive style. Can you name him? Madeline?
Renoir.
It is not Renoir, it's Gauguin. You do get the next category, however, Timberwolves, and it is U.S. history. W.E.B. Du Bois was the co-founder of the National Negro Committee, which became what? Grant.
The NAACP.
NAACP, very good. Huskies, science, another science question for you. The primary coil of a transformer has 2,000 loops at 1,200 volts. How many loops are required for the secondary coil to produce 240 volts? Avery?
5.
It's not 5. Southwest, chance to steal this science category. The primary coil of a transformer has 2,000 loops at 1,200 volts. How many loops are required for a secondary coil to produce 240 volts? Wes?
400 loops.
400 loops, very good. Southwest, you do get the next question. It is geography. Angel Falls in Venezuela is the highest known waterfall in the world with an elevation of 3,281 feet. The United States claims 3 of the 10 highest waterfalls in the world. All of them are located in what national park? Madeline?
Yellowstone.
It is not Yellowstone. Huskies, chance to steal this geography question. Angel Falls in Venezuela is the highest known waterfall in the world with an elevation of 3,281 feet. The United States claims 3 of the 10 highest waterfalls in the world, and all of them are located in what national park? Alec?
Yosemite.
Yosemite. Huskies, it does come back to you with a next category of big boats. Name any 4 of the 5 main types of ship that form a naval group. Timberwolves, chance to steal this big boats category. Name any 4 of the 5 main types of ship that form a naval group. Jordan.
Battleship, destroyer, carrier, and submarine.
Sorry, cannot accept that. Battleship is not included. Carrier, destroyer, and submarine are cruiser and frigate would be the other 2. Cruiser and frigate. Southwest, we do come back to you with U.S. history. The 7 Years' War was waged in Europe. What was its North American counterpart called? Grant?
French Indian War.
French Indian War. Huskies, English history is your category. Queen Elizabeth I was from the Tudor house and reigned in England from 1558 to 1603. She was born in 1533. Who were her 2 famous parents? Dan?
Henry VIII and Mary.
I'm sorry, cannot accept that. Timberwolves, you have a chance to steal this English history question before we go to our halftime. Queen Elizabeth I was from the Tudor house and reigned in England from 1558 to 1603. She was born in 1533. Who were her 2 famous parents? Grant.
Oof. King Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn.
Those are the 2. Very good. Nice job. And as I said before, that siren does denote the end of our first half, and we have a score of Blue Valley Northwest 12 and Blue Valley Southwest 7. At this part of our program, we will go to a member of each team as they will give us a campus update of what is happening in and around their community and their high school. And first from Blue Valley Southwest, we have Grant. Grant, what is happening with the Timberwolves?
Well, let's see. This week, our theater program puts up its modern-day production of Hamlet, which should be pretty exciting. This past weekend, we also had a lot of members in the choir make it into the Northeast KMEA District Choir, in fact, more than any of the other Blue Valley schools, I believe. And our debate team also had a successful weekend at Mays, as I think we have 4 of the top 20 teams in the state.
Fantastic. And as we head over to Andrew, what is happening with the Huskies at Northwest?
Well, at Northwest, our boys soccer team recently won the 6A state championship, so we're pretty excited about that over at Northwest. Our journalism students just went to a competition in Boston and placed 5th for our newspaper, and our broadcast placed 3rd. And for our play, we recently just finished it. It was by the skin of our teeth, and it had its run last week.
Fantastic.
Sorry.
Great things happening at both schools. That's good to hear. As we head into our second round, we will start with a look and listen question, which is worth 2 points. And the contestants here in the studio do have a monitor in which they can see the clue, and as well as you at home. So here we go with our look and listen question at the beginning of our lightning round. It is worth 2 points. This instrument became less popular with the rise of the forte piano. Dan?
The harpsichord.
It is the harpsichord. We don't even have to go to the clue. Hopefully it was a picture of the harpsichord. Maybe of someone tickling the ivory on the harpsichord. I don't know. We'll never know, will we? All right, as we head into the remainder of the lightning round, the question is placed on the floor for either team to answer. If a team responds correctly, they earn a point. If a team responds incorrectly, the other team, once again, will get a chance to steal that question. So here we go. Both teams, geography is the category. The ruins at Chichen Itza, Mexico, are the remains of which Native American civilization? Grant.
The Aztecs.
It is not the Aztecs. Huskies, chance to steal. Avery?
It's the Mayan.
It's the Mayan. Literature for both teams. Although Tom Sawyer would never admit it, he was very fond of his Aunt Polly, and especially fond of a neighbor girl. Andrew.
Sally.
I'm sorry, cannot accept that. Timberwolves, chance to steal this literature question. Although Tom Sawyer would never admit it, he was very fond of his Aunt Polly, and especially fond of a neighbor girl. Who was she? Madeline?
Maggie.
It's not Maggie, it's Becky Thatcher. Becky Thatcher. Both teams, current events is the category. A bullying scandal within the Miami Dolphins organization has triggered an investigation into the workplace environment of that NFL team. Name the player who left. Grant?
I think his name's pretty funny. Richie Incognito.
Sorry, I cannot accept that. Huskies, chance to steal this current events question. The bullying scandal within the Miami Dolphins organization has triggered an investigation into the workplace environment of that NFL team. Name the player who left the team as a result of being Abik.
Jonathan Martin.
Jonathan Martin. Architecture for both teams. In architecture, what do you call the central wedge-shaped stone of an arch that locks? Madeline.
The keystone.
It is the keystone. Music for both teams. Identify the number and type of musical instruments hanging from a Mason City, Iowa ceiling, a tribute to a native son. Dan.
76 trombones.
It is 76 trombones. Occupations for both teams. The minister in charge of a Roman Catholic parish is called a priest. What is the minister in charge of an Episcopalian parish called? Jordan?
Deacon.
Not a deacon. Huskies, chance to steal this occupations category. The minister in charge of a Roman Catholic parish is called a priest. What is the minister in charge of an Episcopalian parish called? Andrew?
A bishop.
He's not a bishop. He is a rector. A rector. Both teams, movies is the category. What Rob Reiner film recounts the efforts of a valiant Wesley to rescue the fair Buttercup? Madeline.
The Princess Bride.
It is The Princess Bride. World history for both teams. In what city was Mohandas Gandhi assassinated in 1948? Abik?
Delhi.
Delhi. Science for both teams. How many electrons are there in an atom of beryllium, atomic number 4, mass? Wes?
4.
4. Down on the farm is the next category for both teams. Farm animals can be grouped into 3 broad categories. Pets are one. What are the other two? Dan.
Livestock and poultry.
Cannot accept livestock and poultry. Timberwolves, chance to steal this down on the farm category. Farm animals can be grouped into 3 broad categories. Pets are one. What are the other two? Grant?
Herders and breeders.
I'm sorry, cannot accept that. Livestock is one of them. The other is working animals. Working animals. Literature for both teams. The following books are considered to be examples of superior thinking. Name the authors of, pay attention, there's 2 of them here, Divine Comedy and Wealth of Nations. Andrew.
Dante and Adam Smith.
Those are the 2. Very good. Geography for both teams. It's the site of America's first new national park since 1994, the Black Canyon of Gunnison National Park. Name the state. Abik?
Utah.
It is not Utah. Timberwolves, chance to steal this geography question. It's the site of America's first new national park since 1994, the Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park. Name the state. Grant.
Hawaii.
It is not Hawaii. It's Colorado. Colorado. U.S. presidents for both teams. He died in Nashville in 1849, only 103 days after he left office. Dan.
James K. Polk.
That's the one we're looking for. Nice job. Science for both teams. This liquid, which contains white blood cells, flows through the body in its own system. Name it. Andrew. I cannot accept blood. Timberwolves, chance to steal this science category. This liquid, which contains white blood cells, flows through the body in its own system. Name it. Wes.
Lymph.
Lymph is what we're looking for. Canines for both teams. What dog was bred for rescuing fishermen who had fallen overboard in the Northwest Atlantic? Dan?
The Newfoundland.
It is Newfoundland. Sports for both teams. Eddie Arcaro accomplished something that no jockey before him or since has ever done. What did he do?
He won all 3 races in the Crown Royal.
Cannot accept that. Sorry. Huskies, chance to steal the sports category. Eddie Arcaro accomplished something that no jockey before him or since has ever done. What did he do? Andrew.
He won the Kentucky Derby twice.
I can't accept that either. He did win the Triple Crown, but he won the Triple Crown twice. That's what we were looking for, Triple Crown twice. Business is for both teams. What do you call a company that is required by contract to hire only union members? Grant.
Equal opportunity employer.
I cannot accept that. Huskies, chance to steal this business category. What do you call a company that is required by contract to hire only union members? It's called a closed shop. Closed shop. Math is the next category for both teams. All right, a lot of details here, so please pay attention. Mary is 3 times as old as Bill. 5 years ago, she was 4 times as old as Bill was then. How old is Mary now? Abik?
45.
45. Nice job. Art is the next category for both teams. What kind of art did Al Capp define as, and this is a quote, a product of the untalented, sold by the unprincipled to the bewildered? We're looking for an 8-letter word starting with the letter A. Looks like Jordan.
Abstract.
Abstract. Another U.S. president's question for both teams. Our earliest presidents, of course, were born in the American colonies. But who was the first president actually born in the United States? Dan.
John Quincy Adams.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. Timberwolves, you do have a chance to steal this U.S. president's category. Our earliest presidents, of course, were born in the American colonies. But who was the first president born in the United States? Grant.
Is it Tyler?
Is not Tyler. It's Martin Van Buren, born in 1782. Both teams. Literature is the question. Which Toni Morrison novel shares its title with a book of the Old Testament? Andrew.
The Romans.
It is not the Romans. Timberwolves, you have the chance to steal this literature question. Which Toni Morrison novel, Grant?
Is it Genesis?
It is not Genesis. It's Song of Solomon. Song of Solomon. U.S. history, particularly a U.S. history horse question. Do you know your horses? Name the only survivor of the Battle of Little Bighorn on the United States side. So horse named Comanche. Science for both teams. Psychologists use a general term to describe the reward given to strengthen a stimulus-response bond. What is it? Abik?
Incentive?
It's not incentive. Timberwolves, chance to steal this science category. Psychologists use a general term to describe the reward given to strengthen a stimulus-response bond. What is it? Madeline?
Reinforcement.
Reinforcement. Another geography question for both teams. It's been the chief route into Italy since the Roman Empire. Name this pass on the Austrian border, elevation 4,511 feet. It's Brenner Pass. Brenner Pass. History is the next question. The Battle of Actium was fought in the 1st century BC. In what century was the Battle of Masada? Grant?
5th century.
I'm sorry, cannot accept that. Huskies, history is the category. The Battle of Actium was fought in the 1st century BC. In what century was the Battle of Masada? Avery?
The 5th century AD.
No, I'm sorry, it's the 1st century AD. 1st century AD. That would have stung a little bit if that was that's okay, you're all right. Next category for both teams is religion. A famous preacher from Scotland studied under John Calvin in Geneva and later returned to make a powerful impact on religious life in Scotland. Andy.
John Knox.
It is John Knox. U.S. government for both teams. Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution gives Congress the power to make all laws essential to carry out all other powers granted to it by the Constitution. What do we call this statement? Wes?
The necessary and proper clause.
Very good. Or the elastic clause. We would have taken either one. With that correct response, you did bump your score up to 15. We may have a final score of Blue Valley Northwest 22, Blue Valley Southwest 15. A well-played game by both teams. Please join us again here on Categories next time as we bring you the best and brightest minds of high school students all throughout Johnson County.